Hey, welcome back, guys. We finally received confirmation on the true culprit behind Famous's demise, and it came from the least likely of characters on the surface, yet the most seasoned couple in the game, whose series-long concerns has revolved around hedging their bets, making investments, protecting their investments, and furthering their reputation. This recent development has presented a slight hiccup in their overall plan for a multitude of reasons, and in this video, we'll unpack their plot, analyze their current dilemma, and make predictions for how it could all snap, crackle, and pop for the legendary duo, pun intended. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my Patreon family. If you'd like to be the next one, hit the link pinned to the comments below. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things power. Here we go. The first episode that introduced us to Snaps and Pop was cryptically entitled In Sheep's Clothing, and only began to scratch the surface for what the two were capable of. As Pop declared during that episode, quote, "Heads come in here every day to kiss the ring. They tell us they business because of who the fuck we are and what we done out here." Her affirmation here coincides with their actions in the episode since, where they have kept their ears to the streets, their minds on the game, and their eyes on the prize. Following an illustrious career in the underworld, retirement brought them to a new level of the game, from direct operators to indirect orchestrators. Instead of touching the work, they financed the work, sharing in all of the profits and none of the risks. We're introduced to this business model through Ronnie, who appealed to the couple in order to climb back into the game himself. After taking notice of a young, hungry Kanan's business structure and admiring his hustle from afar, Ronnie brought Kanan into their distinguished company, inadvertently initiating a clandestine plot in the minds of the troublesome twosome that we've witnessed being subtly unfolded throughout Season 4. This season has found Snaps and Pop trying to wedge a divide between Kanan and his mother with every passing exchange. In their first meeting to kick the season off, Kanan is livid after learning the concept of ROI, return on investment, the hard way. Snap states during their disagreement that, quote, "It's clear that your devotion to your mother is suspect at best." He's right on the money here, but unbeknownst to him, we all know why Kanan lacks devotion. Rock's sins against her son outweigh her rationale. She's done some outright reprehensible things to him in the name of love for him. For instance, in the case of D-Wiz, Rock was behind his murder. She manipulated Kanan into attempting to kill his own father before killing him herself. She also killed Scrap, and then lied to Kanan about it until he finally discovered the truth via his Uncle Lou. Finally, Rock got Kanan roped in with the state by planting a gun in his bag, resulting in weekly check-ins until Ronnie told that social worker that he was going to eat her children or something like that to get her to stay away. Rock committed all of these acts under the guise of keeping Kanan safe, a twisted expression of a mother's love. These actions have brought Kanan to this current impasse, where he believes that his mother would kill his best friend because, after all, she's done it before. In fact, a plausible case could have been made against Rock in the killing of Famous. Walk with me back to the top of episode 406. The episode began with friends and family of Famous memorializing his life at Lulu's club. Many of the attendants were in shambles, grieving the loss of a soul taken too soon. In the midst of all that grief and agony, though, really study Rock's demeanor. She didn't share the sadness of her brother Lou, who was ready to jump back into gangland for retribution against his former artist and mentee. She didn't share the somberness of her brother Marvin, whose only concern was keeping his loved ones safe from similar harm. And she definitely didn't share the brokenness of her son Kanan, whose only focus was avenging his fallen comrade. In the case of the latter, she stressed measure, composure, and maintaining a leveled head. She questioned Lou about leads on who may have executed Fame, not to follow them up in a retribution plot of her own, but to seemingly gain a sense of what they were thinking, how they were thinking, and if their thinking could possibly implicate her, allegedly anyway. After that exchange, she checked in on Kanan and Jukebox, conveying to the former to, quote, "Take a breath and check yourself. Famous wouldn't want you to do something stupid." Upon K removing himself from his mother's presence, she urged Juke to, quote, "Stay on your cousin. He's in a bad place right now." But perhaps the most damning imagery of Rock that night was her exchange with Mama Fame, which took place in passing during Kanan and Jukebox's verbal exchange. In fact, if you blinked or looked down at your phone at that moment, you could have easily missed one of the most damning quote-unquote evidence pieces against her. Rock was depicted comforting Mama Fame in an eerily similar fashion to how she once comforted D-Wiz's mother in the aftermath of his demise, being a light, comforter, and emotional supporter to someone who's taken a tragic loss can be the best deflector of guilty suspicion on the offender's behalf. We've seen this depicted in media throughout time, most notably in the film Juice, when Tupac's Bishop character showed up to comfort the mother of his best friend, who he directly killed in order to alleviate blame, dissuade suspicion, and most importantly, take the temperature of all members in attendance. In our Raising Kanan epic, we've seen such a display by Rock way back in Season 1, and Kanan clocked his mother's every move in the midst of his his first tragic loss, which was later amplified by Rock's admission of guilt and the slaying of D-Wiz. He remembered her methods from way back then, and at Famous's memorial, we subtly witnessed him cross-referencing Rock's former posture with D-Wiz's mom to her current one with Mama Fame. The holding of the hand, the nods of reassurance, and the words of restoration, which we were not privy to this go-round, all factored into Kanan's revelatory conclusion at the end of 407. He's seen this movie before, and by this point more than any other, he knows his mother. Rock's maneuvers during this sequence weren't rooted in sincerity, at least to him. They were seemingly rooted in damage control. She was depicted to be concerned with her perception in the midst of this tragedy and not the tragedy itself. This left much cause to pause when deliberating her potential involvement. But as we now are fully aware of, Rock's hands are clean in the case of Famous, but so filthy elsewhere in Kanan's past that she's been made out to be the girl who cried wolf in a sense. She has so much dirt on her jacket that she's fully robbed herself of the benefit of the doubt when it comes to her son. And Snaps and Pop have been playing on this sentiment within Kanan all season long to this point. The second meeting between Kanan and the devious couple is where the true manipulation will commence. Ironically, this is the same scene where we first witnessed Snaps and Pop's ties to the police, signaling to the audience of their potential involvement in any dirt the police may commit. After forgiving Kanan's monetary shortcomings in light of his drop spot being hit, the old duo began to counsel the young upstart in a sense, offering him pearls of wisdom while gauging his loyalty and intentions going forward. Once Kanan makes it clear that he wants to be remembered for himself and not any outside familial influence, the couple nod in deceitful unison, understanding the assignment fully. Elevate Kanan to a winning position by connecting him to their contacts and sever his ties with Rock. They moved toward this goal exactly by offering him a meeting with Quan, who didn't have a bullet in his brain at the time, but did have several grievances against Rock and in need of a replacement for her. In 407, Rock met with Snaps and Pop after Unique's triumphant return from the grave and appealed to them for assistance on the grounds that they shared the same business interests. However, the two put her on swift notice that, quote, "We ain't in business with you, we in business with Kanan." Which brings us to the biggest hurdle in that business, their role in the season-long mystery of who shot Famous. Kanan and the couple have an exchange in the park and literally exchange information on the statuses of Quan and Famous, both of which feign ignorance in the separate affairs. Once again, Snaps and Pop make their intentions clear regarding their belief in Kanan, sans the company that he keeps, a la his mother. Then, the two are taken aback once realizing that their police contact's blunder has jeopardized their scheme to pry Kanan away from Rock for good. We see them thoroughly rebuke the officers in question for their carelessness in the matter in a later scene, resulting in Crystal's kidnapping disguised as an interrogation. Based on the scene we received in the 409 preview, I doubt Crystal lives past the opening credits, to be honest, as she was the voice of reason in Kanan's belief that Rock killed his best friend. Snaps and Pop are in a rare position this go-round, one we haven't seen them in since being introduced. Their backs are against the wall. They have to move in such a way that they remain Switzerland, i.e. out of physical conflict, while hooking the big fish in their grand plan, Kanan himself. In order to do this, they can't be discovered as the true culprits behind the greatest sin committed against him to date. Thus, I can see a scenario where they nix all loose ends that could connect them to Fame's demise, and worse yet, they have to put the blame on someone plausible, someone that Kanan would buy hook, line, and sinker. That possibly leaves Unique as expendable, or even Rock herself. This commentator is leaning towards the latter, as Kanan already has grievances in his heart against her, as outlined here, and nothing would inflame those grievances more while possibly removing one of Snaps and Pop's greatest adversaries. Two birds with one stone. But what are your thoughts on all of this? How do you think things will play out for the most diabolical couple in the land? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.